Alright guys, so yesterday we began talking about the Antebellum period, correct? Who can raise their hand and tell me what the Antebellum period refers to? Okay, I want 3 more hands up. 1, 2, 3. Alright, let's see, Karina, go ahead. Antebellum period.
The Antebellum period is the period before the Civil War.
Okay, good. So it's the period before the Civil War. We then talked about how the North and the South had started to become even more different, right? We saw that the difference between those 2 regions was continuing to grow. What was the main thing that we predict will be a cause of the Civil War? Raise your hand if you can tell me. What is the main thing we predict that can be the cause of the Civil War, based on what we learned about the Antebellum period and the North and the South? Okay, I see 2 hands, 4, okay, give me 3 more hands. The main thing we predicted would be the cause of the Civil War. All right, Armani?
Slavery.
Slavery. Why slavery?
Because the North and the South had 2 different economic systems.
Okay, so their economies were very different. Who can tell me about the economy of the North? What was the northern economy like? Juan?
The northern economy was like more industrial.
Okay, good. So it was industrialized. They had factories. They had factory workers, right? Okay, now compared with the South, what was the South's economy like? Let me get a few more hands up. Southern economy. Okay, Karina?
It was agricultural.
Okay. It was agricultural, and who did they rely on for their agricultural production? Who did they? Raise your hand, please. I'm glad that everyone knows. Antonio? Slaves, right? So this is a very, anytime you have 2 groups of people arguing over something that makes them money, it's going to get pretty heated, right? Okay? So we start to see these social reform movements happening, right? We start to see this social reform going on, and we start to see people that are trying to change these things, okay? So what we're going to do, we had like a brief intro into the social reforms yesterday. Today we're going to dive deeper by doing some stations. Okay, so here's the way this is going to work, guys. You're going to have 7 stations to go to today. I've outlined it in the packet that you have, right? Okay? When I tell you to, you need a packet? Okay, when I tell you to, you are going to go to the station that correlates with the color of construction paper you have. So for instance, Marquise has light blue. Okay, so looking around at the stations, where is he going to wind up? Station 5, because it's also light blue, right? So that is where he will start. Okay, each station is going to be 5.5 minutes long. I will have a timer. I will let you know when you have 1 minute left. Okay, you guys, it is very important that you get to the station, get started, and be working the entire time you're there. You're going to go to every station. By the time you leave today, you will have a completed packet. Okay, this will be done, and you guys will all be experts on social reform. Okay? All right, so here are our goals for today. Okay, we are going to thoroughly understand the social reform movements and its leaders. Okay, who can tell me what our second goal for today is? Raise your hand. Who can tell me the second goal? Ahmad?
Be able to describe the character traits that these individuals lead.
Right, so we're going to look at these leaders that we're reading about. What did they have? What type of person were they that allowed them to become a leader in this movement? Okay? Then our third goal, okay, our last goal for today, who can tell me what it's going to be? It's up there on the PowerPoint. I know you all can read. So everyone's hands should be up, right? Everybody's. Monisha?
To look at our society and discuss how we can contribute our skills to current social reform.
Okay, good. So at the end of class today, guys, at the end of class, after we have gone through the lesson, okay, after you've gone through all the stations and you have your packet complete, we're going to look at our current society today. We're going to look at the parts of our society that need change. We're going to think about who we are as people and how we could contribute to current social reform. Okay? Because you guys are going to find out that a lot of the character traits that these leaders from the 1800s have are character traits that you guys have. Okay? So it's not super outlandish to think that you could make the same impact that they did. Okay? All right. So, to do this, let me go ahead and get you started. Okay, the very first station, guys, those of you with purple, you guys are going to start right here. You're going to read this little excerpt. It's called Slavery, a Positive Good. You guys remember when we talked about that yesterday?
Yep.
This was the South's viewpoint. Okay, so you have a corresponding section on your packet that says Station 1. You will answer those questions. Okay, Station 2 is going to be back here. What you guys are going to do here? We talked about William Lloyd Garrison. He wrote a newspaper called The Liberator. So you guys are going to read an excerpt from him, okay, and answer the questions in your packet. Station 3 is going to be over here. You're going to be doing some graph analysis, okay? So we've got two pie charts here. You're going to look at it, compare and contrast them, and answer the questions in your packet, okay? Number 4 is going to be right here. When you guys are working here, you can sit at these desks, okay? And basically, I've given you a graphic organizer. You have a matching graphic organizer in your packet. I want you to complete your own graphic organizer in your own words. So you're going to use this as a reference, but do not write it word for word, right? You're going to read this, internalize it, spit it back to me in your own words, okay? And then Station 5, you guys are going to be using this overhead projector. So you've got a couple questions that relate to these maps, okay? Be sure to use your map keys. If you guys have questions on this, I will be coming by to help you, okay? And your Station 6 is going to be right here. So what you guys are going to do is going to be talking about the different availabilities of transportation. So you're going to be looking at how railroads were set up during this time, comparing the North and the South, okay? And your very last station is one that I think you guys will enjoy. It's going to be back here on this window. So what you guys are going to do, I have here the written speech of Sojourner Truth called Ain't I a Woman? Okay, yesterday we talked about the women's rights reform movement and we talked about the abolition movement. So you're going to find that Miss Truth kind of was involved in both, okay? On the iPad here, how many of you guys watched Scandal? Or have heard of Scandal? Okay? So you guys are probably pretty familiar with the Olivia Pope character, okay? Her name's Kerry Washington, and what you're going to be doing here is the History Channel has started doing this thing where they have actors and actresses from current today. They have them like reenact famous speeches throughout U.S. history. So what this station's going to be is Kerry Washington will be doing Sojourner Truth's speech, Ain't I a Woman? So you can use the text here and watch it on this iPad, okay? And you're going to answer the questions about it in your packet. Okay, does anyone have questions about this?
Not at all.
Okay, now remember, use your inside voices, okay? We will be kind of in close quarters. And remember our goals for today, okay? You want to be looking at these leaders, figuring out what traits they have that you also embody that could allow you to become a leader as well, okay? So any questions? No?
No.
Okay, and one other thing that I want to remind us, in stations, be conscientious of your transition times, okay? If you're simply having to go from Station 4 to Station 5, how long should it take you to get there?
2 seconds.
Not very long, right? Okay? So don't be moseying around, okay? We've got important stuff to do today. So when we will rotate in this direction, okay? And I will tell you when that will occur. Any other questions?
So we might as well start right here.
You're going to start. Who can remind Antonio where we start?
Yellow color she give you, so you got yellow, so you start at.
Okay?
See.
Station C.
Okay. So, good question though. We got to be clear on directions. All right. Any other thoughts, comments, concerns? Okay, I'm going to start the timer, and you guys can go ahead and move to your stations, okay? All right, guys, sit there and begin. Okay, let's figure out where you're going.
So we got the liberator.
I don't know.
so what's your question that you're looking at?
Number 2.
Number 2, okay. Does the author support or oppose slavery? Give one quote, excerpt, or passage that explains your reasoning. So what do y'all think? After reading this, do you think that they support?
He opposed it, then again, he feel like he couldn't support it.
Okay, so what part of this makes you feel like he's opposing it?
Because he was like, I will not have this, and I will not, like, everything is okay the way it is.
Okay, so then what part of it is confusing you and making you think that he maybe supports it?
I'll say
Just 1 second, okay?
Yeah, right here it say shame, contempt for the immediate and friend.
Okay. Okay, so then you gotta look. Is there more evidence in this text saying that he does not support slavery, or is there more evidence in this text saying that he supports slavery? Okay, right. And if we're looking at it too, another hint. If it's called The Liberator, do you think that's gonna be a newspaper for or against slavery? Right? Okay.
I'm gonna say because the title and then
Okay, what type of man could vote in New York and
why in the school?
Yesterday we talked about one that were African Americans, like Cubans, were thought of as property. So they're thought of as property. Are they going to be?
You supposed to be, but Miss Olsen, I still got my paper, so I don't know. Who you gave it to?
Yep. Okay, guys, you have about 1.5 minutes left, okay?
Oh, my back hurts already. Now you know.
Anisha, how are we doing here? Armani, what are you doing, bud? Okay.
You go well? Which way? We go that way.
But let's look at it. Let's see if we got it right. Okay. So, it was at 25%. So why do you think that? And so you finished.
This extra bit is cheap piece.
But this is asking you what percentage of the Southern population was enslaved. Is it asking you what percentage owned slaves?
You still recording?
No, it's asking what percentage was enslaved. So we're gonna look at this.
Oh yeah, but
What
it's
do you
stop
know
waiting.
about this part right here? It's saying that. Okay. So what about this part? The same thing. I want to turn it in the counter. White people in the South. I mean, wait. No. Okay. So is that one thing? Okay, so make sure you're looking at it. All right, guys, go ahead. Rotate, okay? Rotate clockwise. So if you're, listen, hold on, pause. If you're at station 2, you would go to 3. If you're at 4, go to 5. Okay, go to the next number. If you're at 7, you gotta go to 1.